While still on Energy Week, in a compelling discussion on Africa's energy future, ministers from Botswana, Ghana outlined both strategies to drive electrification, promote clean cooking, and attract investment through Mission 300. Emphasizing the urgent need for energy access and generation, they spoke to the importance of smaller, affordable, off-grid solutions, regional power integration, and competitive tendering to reduce cost, with goals such as achieving our 50-50 energy mix, increasing solar adoption, and using renewable power to support both mining and digital transformation. Let's take a listen now.
I think that Ghana's vision and our overall objective aligns with M300. What we're seeking to do is to achieve universal access to electricity. We're about 90% access rates. We've set an ambitious target to achieve universal access by 2030. And so we are all looking at the same year. And so clearly, we have a common vision. Where we've reached, we have a lot of communities that are in what we call difficult to reach communities, island communities. And so we believe that off-grid solar projects and solar solutions will be a key feature. And that is very prominent with Mission 300. We also believe that we should bring about efficiency, ensure that we reduce the cost of power, because it is key, and also deliver affordable, reliable, and sustainable power to the people of Ghana. And so clearly, from what we are doing and from our own perspective, we've just established what we call a Renewable Energy Investment Fund, where we are pulling our own resources. But what we need is to leverage that with our international development partners so we can accelerate the pace of work. So clearly, this fits into our overall structure, our overall policy, and we look forward to collaborating with you and ensuring that we bring as many people as possible to have access to electricity in Ghana for accelerated economic development.
We are similarly working on this ambitious target of 2030 to get universal access. The main focus being on the 7% that are in the hardest to reach and in areas where it's been termed as not commercially viable to pull the grid to or even to provide energy access. So for those that don't know, Botswana is the size of Texas and larger than France, but only has about 2.5 million people. So we're dealing with largely sparse populations, and some of the hardest to reach have between 800 to 1,000 people. So you can imagine that to pull infrastructure to such kind of areas, it would be said it's not commercially and economically viable, but because we understand that energy is a human right, it's a need for advancement, it's how we unlock opportunity, we have to find ways of ensuring that we bring electricity to those areas. And so we have to think about different ways of doing so. And, DRE and using off-grid solutions, even though some of the off-grid solutions that have been proposed, they appear to be too bulky, too expensive, and when you just think about the consumption rates, it still doesn't make sense. So we have to revert to much smaller household solutions that can, at the very least, deal with issues of lighting, and then we progress to the issue of clean cooking. And we would like to have clean cooking advancements to 90% by 2030. But in addition to just dealing with universal access, what's very key to us is accelerating generation. We are at the moment 90% based on thermal power and want to have a 50-50 energy mix by 2030. And even beginning of this year, we put out a tender towards renewable energy solutions, not just for Botswana, but for exporting into the Southern Africa power pool. So we are really actively seeking investors that can come in, targeting the domestic market, but also targeting the regional Southern Africa market, because the demand in South Africa and Zambia and Congo and many others in the region is very high, and we have the right macros to support investment and projects of that kind. And then we can use those to leverage the access to those in the hardest to reach, since it's been argued that it's not commercially viable. But that is what is really key to us, that we work on generation, we work on universal access, we work on export, and then lastly, we ensure that it is affordable so we can build industry and improve lives.
Already we're working with the World Bank to develop a framework for competitive tendering. We have already gone to Parliament to pass a law that compels us to go for competitive tendering. Because what we've realized is that normally unsolicited programs or offers are brought to us. They look very good, but in the long term, they tend to be very, very expensive. And so the World Bank is already helping us. And so we just tie into Mission 300. And then I'm sure that we're going to achieve a lot. Our objective is to reduce our cost of generation by about 30%. We also have what we call a gas to power transition, where we are developing all our gas resources to feed our thermal plants. Then we have an ambitious project to achieve 30% of solar mix by the end of 2026. And we are sure that we will do that because of our hydro potential. And so clearly, we must learn also from each other. That is one thing that I think African countries are not doing. We share power with Côte d'Ivoire. When we have excess, we export to Côte d'Ivoire. In times of our need, they also export to us. And through what we call our West African power pool, we are integrating the whole of West Africa so that we can share power. So I think that one thing that I would advise that Mission 300 should focus on is bringing us together, even if it's based on regional blocks. So that if you take West Africa, we set a ceiling to say that for West Africa, we believe that by providing XYZ, power should not exceed, say, 4 cents. So when we compete amongst ourselves, we can leverage our individual strengths and achieve something very positive. But I'm very confident, based on what we've been able to do so far with the World Bank, that this project or program would give us the impetus to achieve the least and most efficient cost power. And then also, we are balancing our power with our hydro. We have some hydro power. And so what we are doing is that we are not going for solar battery-backed solar. We install the solar, we use the solar daytime, then in the night, we resort to the hydro. And by that combination, we are achieving a lot of positive results. And so I'm very, very confident that we'll make progress.